But our top story tonight is the Bharat Bandh that was called today by farmer unions to protest against 1 year since the 3 farm laws were given assent by the president. Remember, the farmers' bodies have been protesting against the farm laws brought in by the Modi government, saying they are anti-farmer. While daily life in the national capital and in surrounding areas like of Punjab and Haryana was severely hit, large parts of southern and western India were mostly peaceful, with little protest being seen in any of those parts. What exactly happened and what exactly lies ahead as the farm protests now continue? Here's a look at our top story tonight.
Highway blockades across North India. Traffic jams that stretch for hours at Delhi borders. A few trains cancelled. The 10-hour Bharat Bandh, called by farmer unions to mark 1 year of farm laws, had mixed impact. The bandh's effect was felt the most in Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. Protests were held by opposition parties in the rest of the country to show solidarity with farmers. But on the whole, Bharat was open for business. The bandh was limited to a few regions.
हो रहा है बंद, बहुत जगह हो रहा है बंद, बहुत जगह लोग इसका समर्थन कर रहे हैं और बहुत जगह बंद है।
किसानों का साथ दें। आज किसान अपनी लड़ाई नहीं लड़ रहे हैं, आप जनता की लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं, क्योंकि देश आज जो हालात इस बीजेपी सरकार ने बना दिए, बीजेपी सरकार ना कह के, क्योंकि चंद लोगों की सरकार रहेगी, 4 लोगों की।
वही है जो चल रहे काले कानून तीनों वापस करें, MSP पे बनाए, भारत सबके लिए एक ही सा बंद करें सब।
A few incidents of violence were reported. In Noida, protesters broke down barricades. In Bengaluru, a farmer leader ran his SUV over a police officer's foot. And in Patna, opposition party workers threatened auto and bus drivers. But it was evident the bandh as a protest method has long lost its mass appeal. Even in Uttar Pradesh, where the bandh made an impact, vegetable vendors in Fatehpur got into an argument with farmer leaders, claiming the bandh was affecting their business.
मजदूरों ने फालतू में मत करा रहे, किसान जबरदस्ती कर रहे हैं, मजदूर आदमी हमारे ध्यान के करा 2 रुपए की मंडी में तो ताजा कमाओ ताजा खाइए।
While the farmers protest, the Narendra Modi government has reiterated its appeal for a dialogue.
मैं किसान बंधुओं को आग्रह करना चाहता हूं कि वो आंदोलन का रास्ता छोड़कर वार्ता का रास्ता अपनाएं। सरकार उनके द्वारा बताई गई आपत्ति पर विचार करने के लिए तैयार है।
भाजपा का लक्ष्य है किसान मुक्त भारत। हाँ, भाजपा की कोशिशों के बावजूद भी आज किसान सड़कों पे धरने पे हैं, क्योंकि किसान अपनी रोटी के हक की लड़ाई लड़ रहा है। भाजपा किसानों के खिलाफ थी, है और रहेगी, और क्योंकि वो जनरल डायर और ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी की मानसिकता रखती है।
The Bharat Bandh has once again revealed how the fight over farm laws is limited to the 3 states of Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. All eyes are now on how the agitation will affect the elections in UP and Punjab. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's raise the big question then tonight. Has the farm agitation lost steam and direction, as critics claim? Or has the Modi government lost the plot and not done enough to reach out to farmers, as the farm organizations claim? Is the farm agitation mainly confined now to parts of North India, especially Punjab and Haryana? Or is the farm agitation going to start weighing heavily on the elections that take place next year in the country? Just some of the questions we'll raise tonight. Yogendra Yadav is President Swaraj India and has been a key part of this farmer agitation. Sardar R.P. Singh is a BJP spokesperson, national spokesperson, and a Congress national spokesperson. Pawan Khera is with us. Appreciate all of you joining us. My only request is we can have as less crosstalk as possible. We will try and get everyone's viewpoint there. Let's start with you, Yogendra Yadav, because there are two views. Critics are saying this agitation has lost steam, it's lost direction. The other view is the government has lost the plot by not reaching out to the farmers. Where does the truth really lie? You had a Bharat Bandh today. Do you really believe that Bharat is with the Kisans, or only parts of Bharat are with the Kisan today on this particular issue of the farm laws?
Rajdeep, the truth is that critics have been saying and hoping from day one that farmers' agitation will or about to lose steam. Let's discuss facts. This is the fourth Bharat Bandh called by the Samyukta Kisan Morcha farmers movement. First was 25th of September last year, then 8th of December, then 26th of March, and now 27th of September. I've been involved in all four of them and have monitored, been part of it. I can say without hesitation that in terms of its spread, impact and energy, this was the strongest and the most impactful Bharat Bandh that we've had in the last 1 year. And I'm comparing it to our own efforts of the past, not to anyone else. I'm actually surprised to hear what I heard in your report, because as a channel, you've paid some attention to South India. I really want you to, Rajdeep, take another look and ask your colleagues what happened in Kerala today, what happened in Tamil Nadu today, what happened in Karnataka today. Now you could say that the Bandh has been uneven. Of course, Bandh has been uneven, has always been. All Bandhs, all protests in the world are always uneven. But to say that the Bandh did not happen in Kerala, that it was very limited in impact, etc., I don't think it's factually true. If you look at what happened in Jharkhand today, in Bengal today, you would get a fairer picture. So I'm just requesting
you're giving us examples of states which are opposition ruled. Opposition ruled states supported the Bandh, so naturally there is likely to be a greater impact. My question which is being raised by critics of the farm agitation is, how has this Bandh taken your movement forward? Have you all reached a roadblock? Have you all reached a roadblock where you're struggling now to take this movement forward?
Rajdeep, there are two separate questions, and I was taking them one by one. The first is what happened today. That's a factual question. Second is why did it happen? So once we say yes, it succeeded, we can get into why it succeeded, whether it was opposition parties only, etc. We can get into that argument. And I'm not speaking only of opposition ruled state. I think Karnataka is not an opposition ruled state. Bihar is not an opposition ruled state. And Bengal, the ruling party did not support the call of the farmers. So I think but anyway, that's a factual thing. I really, as a serious journalist, I would request you to take a look at the complete picture that we have obtained over the 1 day. On the role of opposition parties and what has happened. Now, the real question we are asking is not whether opposition joined the Bandh today or not. Of course, opposition joined this Bandh. Opposition joined the previous Bandh. We somehow tend to lose memory of these things. Opposition had supported even the 26th March Bandh. And many opposition parties had supported the 9th December Bandh as well. And we have openly appealed to every citizen, every movement, every political party in this country to come and support it. The question we should be asking is, A, whether the movement was inspired, designed, controlled by any opposition parties, or today's Bandh, has the agenda been set by political parties? Were they actually leading it? The simple answer to all these things is no. Farmer movement has taken a consistent position that political party leaders, as political party leaders, are not welcome to share the Samyukta Kisan Morcha platform. If they come from a farmers association close to a political party, they have always been welcome, and we have not changed it one bit. So I'm saying today's farmers Bandh actually had 2 or 3 achievements. Contrary to what your report says, I think today's Bandh actually proved that this movement is much beyond Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh.
Okay.
Number 2, it actually indicated that the way forward is spreading it throughout the country. Number 3, it indicated that all political parties in this country see their own interest in following the farmers. They're not leading the farmers. They're following the farmers, and they see their own interest in that, which to my mind actually shows that this movement is alive, kicking and vibrant.
Okay, remember there are opposition parties, particularly the left, the Congress, which have supported the Bandh, and we did see their presence, particularly the left, in different parts. So it's not as if this was, in a sense, non-political in terms of its political alignment. But Sardar R.P. Singh, what strikes out to me is now it's 1 year since the farm laws, but last 6 months, and particularly since January 26th and the violence that took place that day, the government seems to have given up the very basis of negotiating with the farmers. You seem to have decided these farmers are supported by the opposition parties. We will not talk to them. Is that the stand now by the government, that you are going to tire these farmers out? It's 1 year now. Why not negotiate? Why not find a solution?
Rajdeep, thank you for initiating this part, that why not negotiate and why not find out a solution. Prime Minister is on record saying that we are at a phone call distance. Anyone can call the Agriculture Minister, and Agriculture Minister is prepared to talk and then take it forward where it stopped after the 26th January anarchism which happened. And then
the Prime Minister wants the farmers to call him up. What stops the Prime? Just give me a half a second. What stops the Prime Minister, who can go to monitor the Central Vista yesterday night, to go to where the farmers are agitating on the border and say, "Chalo, come to me and we will talk"? What stop? If he were to do that, you can end this agitation possibly, can't you? The Prime Minister carries enough political equity to be able to resolve it.
Thank you, Rajdeep, again for the interruption. But the issue is, we have tried our best 11 times, 12 times rather, and then we have said that come out with a subject. But their way is that is our way or highway. I mean, that's why the roadblocks, and which is not working today. I mean, although Mr. Yogendra Yadav has said they have done Bandh in various states, I'll appreciate. Ask your reporters, ground reporters, show what is a Bandh. Bandh is just holding traffic for some 2 hours or 3 hours is a Bandh. It's putting people in trouble. Snatching people from the right to commute. That's the Bandh. If that's the Bandh, good enough. That's the Bandh. People who are supporting Bandh, let's understand that also. Certain anarchist element were supporting Bandh. Let them keep doing it. Who can stop it? We can stop it. And then opposition parties sponsoring it and then backing it up. They can deny it. I'll give you one example, and that will rectify what I'm saying. Sunil Jakhar, the leader of the Congress party, the then president, said on record on the swearing in of Mr. Sidhu that thank you, Mr. Captain, that you have sent farmers to the border, Delhi border and Haryana border, and he further said, we are supporting it.
You're saying these farmers are anarchists. You have called them anarchists, and you're saying they are supported by the Congress party, that the Congress party has sent them to the border. Is that what you're saying? That for 1 year, they are on the border, supported, they are being sponsored by the Congress party? Is that the allegation you're making?
Rajdeep, can I complete?
Yes.
It's not me. I'm not. It's Sunil Jakhar who said so. And if you want, I'll send you the video, Mr. Sunil Jakhar. On record, in a public function, he said. So I'm just repeating what Mr. Sunil Jakhar said.
Okay.
And as far, allow me to complete, as far other part, their Member of Parliament, Ravneet Bittu, is on record at 23rd January. On your channel itself, he said that they are Khalistanis. His life was saved. Mr. Bittu and there was another MP, Ojala, and some MLA named Jira. And they were there at the border. They were trashed. They were heckled.
Sir, let me now. Now let me go to the Congress, which has quietly listened. Pawan Khera. No, 1 minute, sir. Because you have said, Pawan Khera, here is Mr. R.P. Singh saying 1 year later, many of them, according to him, are anarchists, and many of them are being sponsored by the opposition party, particularly by the Congress, which is why the movement is being sustained. Your response to this, is the opposition, as Yogendra Yadav seems to be suggesting, following the lead of the farmers, or are you all simply riding on the farmers' coattails in the hope that it will give you benefits during elections? Give us this from an opposition point of view.
A very ironical statement by your channel, but generally the media. If the Bandh is successful, it will be criticized. Arey sahab, aam aadmi ko bada dikkat hui. If people are sensitive and not trying to create any problems for the aam aadmi, arey sahab, Bandh to flop ho gaya. देखिए, farmers will be attacked. Farmers will not be given a compliment by the, I would say, Modi media. Is ab bandh mein kuch hua. They would not ever grant it to farmers that they have made their voices heard. There was a massive protest in the US when Prime Minister was visiting America. Tell me how many channels showed that protest, the farmers' protest. Now, in the same breath, my friend RP Singh says that Congress has sponsored these protests and then says that Congress is saying that there are some Khalistanis in that. Now, look at the contradiction. They are so confused. Yes, we are proud of the fact that we are supporting this movement. And we are not. You don't need to leak any video, RP Singh. On record, we are proud to be supporting this movement. Every right-thinking Indian should support the farmers today when they need our support, whether we are in the Congress or the BJP or any other party. Because this is the future of the country.
It almost seems to me, Pawan Khera, when you say that we are when you are saying that you are supporting the farmers' agitation, you have to give me clarity as to what exactly are you seeing, why exactly, because you know, in this entire debate over farm laws, the line between truth and what perhaps constitutes as perhaps fear-mongering is a very thin one.
Okay.
That the farm laws will lead to the end of minimum support price, that the farm laws will reduce farm incomes. All of this, according to even experts, is fear-mongering. Why is the Congress supporting the farmers? Is it because you can't yourself organize the farmers? You have left it to the farm unions to do it.
Rajdeep, if the government and the government-sponsored experts have not been able to persuade their own allies, former allies like Akalidar, if a sitting MP of BJP from Uttar Pradesh is also now gathering courage to speak out against the government, they haven't been able to persuade him or convince him, then please sit with your experts all day long, 24/7 on your channels. Keep talking to the experts and keep living in your echo chambers. Farmers are not fools. अरे साहब वो आसमान देखकर मौसम का अंदाजा लगाकर बीज बोते हैं, पानी डालते हैं, उनको आप बेवकूफ समझते हैं। इस अब सरकार नहीं समझ पा रही। Now the truth which has been obfuscated by this government. आपने सुबह से शाम तक कितनी बार सुना कि साहब स्वामीनाथन कमेटी के recommendations मोदी ने लागू कर दी। Mr. RP Singh, there were 200 recommendations accepted, out of which 175 were implemented by UPA. I challenge you to counter me on this. Only 25 were implemented by Mr. Modi, of which the formula was not implemented. A2 plus C, 1.5 times of A2 plus C2, कहाँ आपने लागू किया मुझे बताइए। उस formula को भी आपने तोड़ मरोड़ के लागू किया। If the farmers feel that their land is endangered, if they look at what's happening in Haryana, people are running away. Traders are running away with the money. Farmers are not getting their dues. Look at the number of mandis which have been closed, which are on the verge of closure in Madhya Pradesh, 180 plus.
I'm going to stop you for a moment. I'm going to stop you for a moment, Pawan Khera. I want, since you mentioned Prime Minister and what you claim, the promises he has made or not made, listen to what the Prime Minister said in his Independence Day speech, because the word he used most often in that speech was Kisan, and Chota Kisan in particular. Listen to the Prime Minister's speech for a moment.
पहले जो देश में नीतियां बनी, उनमें इन छोटे किसानों को जितनी प्राथमिकता देनी चाहिए, उन पर जितना ध्यान केंद्रित करना चाहिए था, वो रह गया। अब देश में इन्हीं छोटे किसानों को ध्यान में रखते हुए कृषि सुधार किए जा रहे हैं, निर्णय लिए जा रहे हैं। अब हमारे लिए हमारा मंत्र है, हमारा संकल्प है, छोटा किसान बने देश की शान।
Chota Kisan, Jai Kisan, Yogendra Yadav is what the President. No, 1 minute. 1 minute.
No, because you interrupted me.
Yes.
Because it was the Prime Minister, I had to be interrupted. But now let me just give me 10 seconds.
Yes.
Chota Kisan.
Rajdeep, I also need it.
Yes, I'll let you all speak. I'll let you all speak.
Because you give him a freeway.
I'll let you all speak. I give no one a... No, I asked that. I don't allow cross talk. Go ahead. I will let you finish, sir. I will come to you also.
You can watch it, Rajdeep. I understand. You try to put words into my mouth.
सर, प्राइम मिनिस्टर से कोई इंटरप्शन करवाया, बीजेपी के हैं, प्रधानमंत्री ने इंटरप्ट कर दिया, तो अब हमें तो कुछ बोलने दीजिए.
Okay, very quickly, Pawan Kheda.
करिए ना सर. आपको
RP Singh, 1 minute. I will come to you, sir. I will come to you. Please, a minute. No, sir. RP Singh, you cannot do this. Pawan Kheda, quickly.
Rajdeep, the NSSO report, the situational assessment report, latest report, छोटे किसान के बारे में क्या बोलती है? The dependence of छोटा किसान of his income, 40% of his income now comes from labor, not from agriculture. It used to be 10% under UPA. ये है छोटे किसान के प्रति इनकी श्रद्धा. धज्जियां उड़ा दी है इस रिपोर्ट ने. इन्हीं की रिपोर्ट है, NSSO की रिपोर्ट है. Go through the report and see what this छोटा किसान is going.
Let RP Singh now respond. No, please let RP Singh.
छोटा किसान उसमें क्या होता है?
Let
वो
RP
क्या रहा है जमीन पर छोटे किसान के साथ? वो तो बात करिए, दिखाइए ना वो रिपोर्ट. क्यों नहीं दिखाते? फिर RP Singh और हम डिबेट कर लेंगे.
RP Singh, the Prime Minister used the word Kisan, Chota Kisan repeatedly in his Independence Day speech. However, there seems to be a trust deficit. There seems to be a belief that this government, should the farm laws be implemented, MSP will gradually be reduced. That's the fear they have. That if they don't go through the designated mandis, they will lose their ability to get the incomes which they have been used to guaranteed. How will you respond? In your home state, one of your home states of Punjab, for 1 year now, the farmers have virtually been on the roads. This can't be done only by a political party.
Thank you, Rajdeep. Many years ago, Jawaharlal Nehru said, everything can wait but not agriculture. And point number 11 from the manifesto of Congress said, Congress will repeal the Agriculture Produce Market Committee Act and trade agriculture produce, including exports and interstate trade, free from all restrictions. That's not me, this is Congress Party's manifesto. I just read it from the point 11 of the manifesto. Now, coming to the mandis and all those issues. Rajdeep, no mandi is going. Let me share a blunt point. Mandis can be only channelized to the state government. And state government has all the right to shut or to put whatever tax they want to put on mandis. You want me to debate on this subject? I'm prepared. You can call Yugandhar Yadav or anyone else to debate on this subject one day. Let's have 1 hour debate on each and every part of the farmers' agitation. No, sorry, farmers' issue. Sorry, not agitation. So, and as for you're raising questions on me saying that I said so, I never said a word. I just quoted what has been said by Sunil Jakhar and Navneet Bittu. And then it is thank to Pawan Kheda, he's a good friend. He acknowledged that. He said, yes, we are sponsoring it. He acknowledged that they are sponsoring it.
No,
it's a known fact.
He said supporting. He said supporting. He said supporting.
I did not use the word sponsor.
Yes,
this is nonsense.
Yes, okay.
This is absolute rubbish.
He said supporting it.
झूठ पकड़ा गया. ये आपका झूठ पकड़ा गया. ऐसे झूठ बोलते हैं आप. ऐसे झूठ बोलते हैं आप.
Yeah, just a minute, Pawan Kheda. I am there to anchor. Pawan Kheda, as of now, I am there.
Withdraw this word.
He has used the word supporting. He has used the word supporting. Pawan Kheda, you cannot cross talk. Pawan Kheda's voice to be
brought. There's a very thin line between the two.
No,
that's supporting is a very thin line.
Okay, that's your view.
And it's not me. It's Mr. Jakhar who said, no, please give me a second. On farmers' issue, let's discuss a few things which is the PM is talking about small farmers. See, people who are getting direct benefit in their account now. It's the Congress party leaders who came here, the complete cabinet came here and said, no, don't transfer the money to Kisan directly. Send it to Aarti. Please keep it pending for 1 year. Because it's Aarti who are helping them to do what they want to do. It's Aarti who funds their elections also. It's not. And I'm saying this on record. The complete cabinet was kneeling down in front of the state central government. Please, we request you folded-handed. Don't send money directly to farmers' account.
Sir, the Arthiyas existed during the BJP Akali time in Punjab and they have existed during the Congress time. Let's not make it out to be as if the middlemen who you accuse today of benefiting at the cost of farmers have...
No, Rajdeep, Prime Minister Modi has ensured that money to the Aarti is got differently in a different account and to the farmers produce goes to his account. This is first time happening. And they are opposing to it. And also, let me a second. Ask Yugandhar Yadav, why didn't they raise a question on Moga? They raised a lot of hue and karnal, but you also never raised a question on Moga when Moga the farmer's head was broken. No one raised the question. No one talks about 90,000 crore rupees farmer loan waiver in Punjab. No one talks about that. No one talks about the promise of Rahul Gandhi who said, in 7 days, I will waive off every loan. Today, they are losing their land.
Okay, you made your point now. RP Singh, you made your point. No, now you must allow Yogendra Yadav to respond. Yogendra.
No, Rajdeep,
no, sorry.
Him to use the wrong word, attribute a wrong quote to me. I won't
Sir, he has been told.
शब्द मैंने नहीं इस्तेमाल किया था.
I have agreed with you. You use the word supporting.
No, what's the point of you agreeing? He has to agree.
He has agreed. He said there's a thin line. He believes there's a thin line.
Like this.
Okay.
He cannot misquote me like this.
Switch off both Pawan Kheda and RP Singh, because otherwise Yogendra Yadav won't be heard. Yogendra Yadav, the trust deficit, is this boiling down to trust deficit? That simply the farmers are unwilling to trust the government, and the government for its own part also believes that these farmers organizations are being, as is suggested by some, whether supported or sponsored by the opposition. Is that what it boils down to? Do you really believe that it is possible to sit across a table and find a solution? Be honest about it.
Rajdeep, it's not trust deficit. I think it's fiscal deficit. The government thinks that they can solve all the problems of the farmers without having to spend a penny. That's the crux of the matter.
No. More seriously, if tomorrow the Prime Minister invites the farmers for across the table talk, are the farmers' bodies even willing to actually negotiate from taking a maximalist position? Surely you need some middle ground.
Rajdeep, I'm saying with all
seriousness. There's a 2-year moratorium on farm laws.
We have heard these lovely dialogues. Bas ek phone call ki kasar hai. Bas every time we organize something big, just 24 hours before that, I get a lovely dialogue. Our doors are open for dialogue and discussion. We are ready for negotiate. I'm waiting for that letter. Yes, just give me a date, give me a time, give me a venue, and I'm saying it responsibly on behalf of farmers' movement. We shall be there for negotiation. We have not broken the talks. We are open to talks with an open mind. More importantly, Rajdeep, I think the whole point that was being discussed about the movement being sponsored, supported, and so on and so forth, I actually suspect that Pawan Kheda might have been very pleased with these allegations. Because if only the Congress had the capacity to organize a movement of lakhs of people and keep them on borders in winter, in rains, in summer, then the country's politics would have been very different. But let me focus on the real issue about what the Prime Minister said on the Red Fort that you quoted. I completely agree with you, Rajdeep. If farmers' well-being could be ensured by good words, lovely poetic words, then the country would have fared, all the farmers of this country would have been most prosperous under Mr. Modi. Because clearly no Prime Minister in this country has given as many words to the farmer as Mr. Modi has. Unfortunately, the words are not enough. What I would have wanted the Prime Minister to answer, and I would like Mr. RP Singh to answer that if he can, and after all, he's from the same party. The Prime Minister had made a historic promise to the farmers of this country on 28th of February 2016. He said, in 6 years, we would double your income. He appoints a committee which clarifies this doubling is in real terms, not in nominal terms. So minus inflation, it will be doubled. The Prime Minister, at the end of 5 years, owed a simple explanation to the country. What happened to that? At the end of 5 years, is it increased by 75%, 60%, 50%? What is the information? He has not bothered.
That's a very direct question you're posing, Yogendra Yadav, and therefore, before we end today, that question should be answered, RP Singh. What happened to the doubling of farm incomes in 5 years?
After RP.
Thank you, Rajdeep.
What happened to the doubling of farm incomes?
Can I, Rajdeep? You never interrupt Pawan Kheda or Yogendra Yadav. Why? Even I not started and you started.
No, he gets the Prime Minister to interrupt me. What are you talking about?
RP Singh, what happened to doubling of farm incomes? Simple question, straight answer, please.
Can I?
Yes, please.
Can I? First, let's talk about the small farmers. Today, each and every farmer is getting Prime Minister's Saman Nidhi. More than 10 crore farmers is reaching out to those 10 crore. It was never there earlier. It has started with this government.
Incorrect.
Neem coated urea. I never interrupted anyone. Please, neem coated urea. It was started with this government. Earlier, I remember for urea they used to fight on depots. It started by this. The farmer's credit card was started by this government. Soil health card was started by this government. Farm equipment at a discounted price was started by this government. Every year, MSP is increased every year. Can I complete? Please, sir. I never. Pawan, how can you be so impatient? So this has been done by this government only. No other government.
So you're claiming your various schemes are compensating for the doubling of income. I've run out of time. Pawan Kheda, you now get your 20 seconds.
This is not fair.
Sir, more than 90,000 crore loan.
What is your point, Pawan Kheda, now?
Never answered on that.
You'll have to give me 10 seconds.
Yes, go ahead, Pawan Kheda.
Rahul Gandhi, that's what
Rajdeep, Mr. RP Singh is lying.
Now RP Singh must be stopped. Yes, go ahead now, Pawan Kheda.
Mr. RP Singh, बताइए कि एनपीकेएस की कीमत यूपीए के वक्त कितनी थी, अब कितनी है? खाद पे जीएसटी आप लगाए हैं या नहीं लगाए हैं? फर्टिलाइजर पे जीएसटी आप लगाए हैं या नहीं लगाए? डीजल की वैल्यू कितनी, की कीमत कितनी बढ़ गई है, ये बताइए मुझे आप जरा. एंड मिस्टर योगेंद्र यादव, सिंस यू टुक अ डिग ऑन कांग्रेस पार्टी and its ability, Mr. Yogendra Yadav,
yes.
The way you took RSS support during अन्ना movement, जाइए ना फिर से RSS का सपोर्ट लाइए ना किसानों के लिए. उस वक्त तो लाए थे ना आप RSS का सपोर्ट जब हमारे खिलाफ आंदोलन कर रहे थे. लाइए, दिखाइए अपनी एबिलिटी, हम भी देखें योगेंद्र यादव की एबिलिटी क्या है इस बार. तब तो बड़े उछल के RSS का समर्थन लिए थे, अब क्यों नहीं लेते RSS का समर्थन?
ओके,
बड़ी हंसी आ रही थी आपको. कांग्रेस में एबिलिटी नहीं आ रही, माफ कीजिएगा. कांग्रेस की एबिलिटी हमें मालूम है और देश को भी मालूम.
ओके,
अगर 10 नहीं 6 लोकसभा हमने डायरेक्टली लीड किए हैं, 4 में हम सरकार में थे, 14 लोकसभा आउट ऑफ 17 में हम सरकार में थे. डोंट डाउट कांग्रेस इज एबिलिटी. नाउ प्लीज प्रूव योर एबिलिटी. गो एंड गेट द आरएसएस सपोर्ट अगेन द वे यू गॉट आरएसएस सपोर्ट इन द अन्ना मूवमेंट.
ओके,
Everybody knows the reality.
This is now becoming about one thing against the other.
आरएसएस का समर्थन लिया, अब भी लाइए ना आरएसएस का समर्थन.
Yes, Yogendra.
Focus on the simple, because a lot of questions being raised on.
Yes, Yogendra.
A promise. So Rajdeep, I promise you that in 6 hours I'll drive you to Bombay. At the end of 5 hours, you say, so have we reached close to Bombay? It looks like Noida.
RSS का आपने सपोर्ट जैसे पहले लाए थे, अब भी लाइए. हम तो ये कह रहे हैं आपसे.
साहब बोल तो लेने दीजिए ना.
अन्ना आंदोलन के वक्त कैसे आप आरएसएस के साथ मिलकर देश को डिस्टेबलाइज कर रहे थे, वापस करिए ना, हम देखते हैं ना आपकी एबिलिटी.
ओके,
बहुत आसान है कांग्रेस के बारे में बोलना, लेकिन अपना भूतकाल छिपाना.
ओके, I'm sorry, I'm not going to give. I have run out of time. I have other guests waiting, but it is very clear that the farm agitation will play out through the prism of politics and sharpening, polarizing politics. It's 1 year now since in one part of the country for sure, farmers continue to remain on the streets, and that in itself should be reason for concern. Thank you all very much to my guests for joining me from there.